How do you price your startup's product? Pricing your startup's product right can make or break your success. Get the pricing right and you're on your way to success. Get your pricing wrong and you're in deep trouble. I want you to get your pricing right. In today's video, I'll explain my foolproof methodology to determine your product pricing. I hope you like it. Hi, I'm Brett. On my channel, I help early stage startup CEOs like you raise money and grow your startup. So if this sounds like you, then hit the subscribe button and the bell so you get notified every time I release a new video. Let's get started. Let's start with number one, how your startup's products win. You have to cut above the noise if your startup is going to succeed. Let me explain what I mean. The world, which means your potential customers, has survived quite well without your product. For any startup to succeed, you have to be significantly better than the alternative that your customers have been using. The reason is that most customers are not going to take a chance on an unknown company unless they cannot get what they want from the existing suppliers. The more negative the ramifications of using a new product, the higher the bar you have to clear to get customers to use your product. Let's take a look at two different types of products to get a better understanding of what I'm saying. Let's say you open up a new restaurant. It's easier to get a potential customer to eat at your restaurant because the negative downside is just one bad meal. You can go back to the other restaurants you eat at and there's little harm that's been done. Now let's contrast this with a technology product that is critical to the performance of the customer's product. Here, the bar to switch to your product is much higher because the cost of making a mistake could mean your customer can't sell their product anymore. This leads us to the next step in our process. Number two, how does pricing fit in the process? Introducing the value equation. So, the way to win is clear. You have to provide significantly more value than your competitors. And by significant, I'm talking about at least 10 times more value than the competition. I have literally launched over 1,000 products to market in my career, so I've seen this play out over and over again. For example, the first generation of products my company introduced were about 3x better than the competition. The products sold, but not as well as we hoped. The second generation of products my company introduced were about 5x better than the competition. And they sold better than the first generation, but still not as well as we hoped. It wasn't until our third generation of products, where we were consistently 10x or better than the competition, that we really started killing it. Pricing is part of this equation, and that's where the value equation fits in. The value equation is simply this. The value you provide has to be significantly greater than the value your competition provides. And value is comprised of lots of different things depending upon what's important to your customers. Here's a list of some of the things that comprise value. Raw performance, ease of use, power consumption, speed, quality, size, customer service, warranties, aesthetics, and of course price is part of the value you are providing to customers. And this leads to how you should price your product. To do this correctly, we have to execute the next step in our process. Number three, research the competition. Everyone has competition. I know you might think that what you're doing is so different that you don't have any competition. That's great. However, your competition is the old way of doing things. Usually, buying decisions are made on 2 or 3 of the most important things to your customers. So, you should know how the competition stacks up on these metrics, Because if you don't know how the competition stacks up, then you're flying blind. And there's no excuse for flying blind in today's world. The great thing is, with the internet, this research is relatively easy to do. So spend the time and build a simple table of all the competitors, the key specs for their products, and the price of their products. Now we're on to the next step. Number 4, know your customer. Back to more basic stuff. I know I'm repeating myself, but you're flying blind if you don't know what your customers want. You should be constantly talking to customers about their needs and wants. There are a couple different ways you can do this. The first is asking 3 simple open-ended questions to customers. What do you like about the product you're using right now? What do you dislike about the product you are using right now? And what would you like to see improved on the current product? Or you can ask your target customers this question. What is the single biggest challenge you currently have? You should catalog the answers in a simple spreadsheet. The key to doing this well is in the interpretation of what you're hearing from customers. Remember, customers provide you their feedback based on their perspective. For example, when a customer tells you they want slightly better performance than they are getting from the current product they are using, they may really be saying they want 50 times better performance. That's the art of great product definition. Part of what you will hear as you speak to customers is the importance of price on their decision making. In some applications, price isn't that critical. In other applications, it is very critical. One last thought on price. It's tough to win as a startup by undercutting the price of the competition unless you have a revolutionary way of doing things that cuts the cost by 10x, for example. The reason is the easiest thing for a competitor to do is drop their price. Now we're on to the last step in our process. Step number 5, make it a no-brainer. We put everything we've learned into this step to determine the right price. Remember, our goal is to provide significantly more value than your competition. The simple way to think about this is to make the decision to buy your product a no-brainer. For example, if you're providing 10x better performance than your competition, and performance is the most important thing to customers, you make it a no-brainer by pricing your product the same as your competitors. Therefore, the price versus performance you provide is 10x that of your competition. That's how you make it a no-brainer. Whether you price your product the same as the competition or higher than the competition, the customer has to perceive the whole of what they're getting to be of significantly more value than what their options are. That's how you price your product or service for success. Now, if this content is resonating with you, then please hit the like button right now. I have one final thought. Create a market of one. What I mean by a market of one is the more unique and the more differentiated your product or service is, the less price will matter to your customers because they can't get what you're offering anywhere else. Now, what did you learn from today's video? Put your answer in the comments column below today's video. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments column too, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Now, I have one more thing for you today. It's my free startup pitch deck template. It has all the slides you need to develop an awesome pitch deck. Click the link below today's video, and it's yours for free. And for more great content, click on the video at the end of today's video. And if you haven't already, then click the subscribe button to get notified every time I release a new video. I'm Brett at brettjfox.com. Thanks for watching today. Take care. Bye.